you're familiar with priming, right? To remind people, priming is when you think it's your thoughts, very often those thoughts have been primed by the environment. So much of what we think we're doing ourselves is being shifted by the outside world. So I say prime yourself. I start every morning by priming myself, including the days I'm on stage. What is priming? I wasn't much of a meditator. My meditation serving people, God kind of comes through, or I'm running on the beach, I'm in nature. That's my version of meditation, more active movement. But I realized there was value in the stillness at that stage and the peace. And so I developed this little 10-minute process. And why 10 minutes? Because if I told you 20, you'd tell me you don't have the time, right? If you don't have 10 minutes for your life, you don't have a life, right? You agree with me? So I said, I'm gonna do 3 things in that 10 minutes. What is the emotion that keeps most people, what messes up their relationships, messes up their career? 2 of them, in my belief. Fear and anger, those 2. What's the antidote to those? Gratitude. As simple as that is. But not mamby-pamby gratitude, I'm grateful. Like, if I ask you what it was like driving on a roller coaster and you remember the roller coaster over there and tell me about it, there's no change in your biochemistry. But if I get you to be in the front seat going over the edge, that's fully associated. I'm gonna get the biochemical changes. So what I do is I do these changes in my body. It takes less than a minute of this kind of breath of fire, if you know yogic breath of fire, explosive breath, which changes the biochemistry. And now I take 10 minutes and I do 3 things. 1, I take 3 minutes, a minute each, and I think of something in my life that I'm incredibly grateful for, but I'm in the front seat, feeling it, being there, experiencing it. So it has a biochemical change, not an intellectual change, right? And I usually pick one of those 3. It's got to be something really simple. It could be the wind on my face from the ocean here. It could be the smile of my daughter. And so I don't make it just like everything's going to the moon, right? And so I train myself to feel that.
When do you do that in the day?
First thing in the morning, right?
What do you mean first thing? Do you mean as soon as you wake up?
I go outside, I do the water first, I do the hot and cold. So I do, you know, people, now it's very popular, but I've been doing for 17 years I've been doing jumping in the cold and doing it. So I have cold plunges everywhere in my home in Sun Valley.
Okay, so that wakes you up.
The snow. It not only wakes you up, it's also a mental discipline. Your entire lymph system, blood flows. But there's never a day that I can remember where I was like, I can't wait to jump in this freezing water at 52 degrees.
Right.
Or if I'm going to the river in Sun Valley, walking through the snow and it's like 42 degrees there, right? But when I get to it, there is never hesitancy because I am training my brain besides my body that, like people say, oh, I don't feel like it.
Of course you don't feel like it. It's cold water.
No, but I don't negotiate with myself. It's like the minute I get there, I don't go, okay, let me get ready or let me get one more comfortable moment. It's like when I say go, we go. And I've done that for years. So now when I say go, we go with anything else, there's no discussion. This is what we're going to do right now. This is a unified force. Right. So I get that. And then I sit and I do this breathing and I do 3 minutes, fully connected, what I'm grateful for, huge biochemical change. 3 minutes on what would be a prayer or a blessing, where I ask for guidance to cleanse my system of anything that's no longer needed, to strengthen my greatest strengths, my love, my passion, my commitment. And then I see sending that energy out like in a circle to those closest to my family, my closest friends, my associates, my clients, my customers, anybody I want to meet.
Right, so that sets your attitude to them.
And also, I'm sure you've seen, you know, Dalai Lama, they did those studies where people focus on compassion for people they don't even know, and there's a change in the brain and how it functions and it affects you. So I do that for myself. So there's a science base to everything I do as well. And then third,
well, if you practiced universal love, you'd probably get better at it.
Yeah, I would think so.
Well, like, why not, right? If you practice gratitude, you're going to get better at it.
When I'm doing all this, I'm wiring myself every day to do this, right? So it becomes like when I wake up, it starts to happen. And then the third one I call 3 to Thrive, where I think of 3 things, a minute each, that I want to accomplish or achieve. And I see them as already done. I feel them as done. I celebrate them as done. So my reticular activating system, which I can talk in shorthand for you understand, if I go and I buy a car and outfit, suddenly you see the car and outfit everywhere. Well, weren't they always there? Yes, but now it's important to RAS, right? So I wire my RAS for the final victory with the emotion and the impact on my family, my friends, and everything else.
So are you doing that with images?
Yes, I close my eyes, I see, feel, and I feel. I walk through it, I celebrate it.
Okay, so tell me
so
exactly
at the end of those 10 minutes.
So, like, when you're running these simulations, you're making the case that you're not only thinking about it in words.
No.
Like, so what are you doing? Are you in a state that's like a dream? Like, is it image-based? Now, you said there's emotions.
It's image and feel. Everyone has different synesthesia patterns, as I'm sure you know. Mine are see-feel. Some people are audiophile, right? Everybody has different, well, not everybody has synesthesia patterns. Some people stay on one modality, as you know, and that limits you. But I wired myself to see, feel. So I know that's it. So I see it, I feel it is done, and then I'll say something.
So it's quite a multi-dimensional simulation.
That's right, that's what makes it real.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And now what happens, now you're vibrating. Now the world hits you, because look, there's two worlds you gotta master, the outside world, the inside. Well, you can't control that outside world, you can influence it. But I can certainly control what I focus on, what it means to me, what I'm gonna do. We don't experience life, we experience the life we focus on.
Yes.
So it's our job to direct the focus, but then have enough reasons to follow through on that focus, and then have enough emotional fuel. And so now when things come in, they bounce off. Now, I might do 60 seconds of grace later in the day, like take a minute and kind of reignite it if I feel like I need a little boost for it. But when you do that enough, it's the myelin. It's like Venus Williams and her sister, right?
Right.
They wired themselves by playing since they're so small and doing it. So I'm wired to find the solution. I'm wired to find the gratitude, and I'm wired to find the good in it. And so it doesn't just show up, right? It doesn't show up for Steph Curry. You do, again, what you're rewarded for in public is what you practice in private. So I do all that before I get on stage, then I get on stage, and then it flows because I'm loading my brain. It's like, there's a difference between what people call emotional intelligence and what I would call emotional fitness. Emotional intelligence is a capability. You can be capable of being smart and not use your intelligence. I ask people, are you an honest person? Yes, but can you lie? And anybody's honest, they'll say, yes, I've lied, right? So it's whether you show up or not, I look at emotional fitness as not a capability, it's a state of readiness. I have activated all the circuits. So now when I walk out there, my nervous system is wired to serve you in any way that could possibly show up.
So you're ready to contend when you go on stage, and it's partly because you've prepared.
That's right.
And you manifested faith in yourself by showing the commitment to the preparation. Plus, you've primed all those stories. I think through way more stories than I'll use, but now they're at hand.
That's right.
So
they're activated.
Yeah, and so
it's like a belief. Think of this. A lot of people have conflicting beliefs. So which one do they act on? You may have been raised, look before you leap. Someone else taught you, he who hesitates is lost.
Right.
Okay, they're both in you. Which one are you going to act on? Whichever one has been activated the most. It's the activation of your nervous system. That's the part I think people miss. So many people have great philosophical understanding, but they don't execute. And I'm a big believer that knowledge is not power. Knowledge is potential power. Execution dwarfs and trumps knowledge every day of the week. So I am a accelerant for the activation of moving forward, not just the understanding.
Right, so that's partly why you put so much stress on the physiological element of
100%, but also then it resides in you, not as a thought.
Right, sure.
Right? Think of it this way, it's the difference between knowing something intellectually and having it in your nervous system. Mastery starts with cognitive understanding. Cognitive understanding is like $3 will almost get you a Starbucks. No one cares. It won't do anything, right? But if you go from that to emotional understanding, where I start to learn that if I do this, it gives me this pain. Or if I do this, it gives me this pleasure. Now I'm going to apply more of what I've learned. Well, my goal is to get down to physical mastery. Because you don't have to think about it anymore. It just happens.